Welcome to the Dr. 305 show with yours truly, Dr. 305 himself. My name is Ahmed Al-Nahas, a fourth-year medical student transitioning into my residency year next year. On my shows, I like to bring knowledge, wisdom, expertise, and experience about medical, health, and science fields pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic that we're facing globally. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about what is a virus in a nutshell, and then we're going to be talking about what is the viral life cycle so we can get an understanding of what a virus is and how it replicates, how it lives, and how it's infecting our bodies and the people around us, especially with this COVID-19 virus that's a pandemic within our society. Now, let's begin with talking about what is a virus. So, a virus is a submicroscopic infectious agent that replicates only inside the living cells of an organism. Viruses can infect all types of life forms, from animals and plants to microorganisms, including bacteria and archaea. Since Dmitry Ivanovsky's 1892 article describing a non-bacterial pathogen infecting tobacco plants, and the discovery of the tobacco mosaic virus by Martinis Bergenic in 1898, more than 6,000 virus species have been described in detail, the millions of types of viruses in the environment today. Viruses are found in almost every ecosystem on Earth and are the most numerous type of biological entity. The study of viruses is known as virology, a subspecialty of microbiology. Now, when infected, a host cell is forced to rapidly produce thousands of identical copies of the original virus. When not inside an infected cell or in the process of infecting a cell, viruses exist in the form of independent particles, or virions, consisting of the genetic material, an example, long molecules of DNA or RNA that encode the structure of the proteins by which the virus acts on. Also, a protein coat, the capsid, which surrounds and protects the genetic material, and in some cases, an outside envelope of lipids. Now, the shapes of viruses particles range from simple helical and icosahedral forms to more complex structures. Most virus species have virions too small to be seen with an optical microscope, as they are 1/100th in size of most bacteria, very minute organisms that we cannot visualize with our own eyes. Now, viruses are spread in a variety of ways. One transmission pathway is through disease-bearing organisms known as vectors. Now, when an individual or animal or plant are infected with a virus, we tend to provoke an immune response that usually eliminates the infecting virus. Now, some viruses can evade these immune responses and result in chronic infections. Hence, several antiviral drugs have been developed to target these specific viruses. Now, that is what is a virus in a very nutshell. To learn more about what a virus is, approach one of your virology textbooks or biology textbooks to understand the process, the description, and the background of what a virus is. Next, we're going to be talking about what is a viral life cycle. Viral life cycles vary in their precise details depending on the type of virus, but they all share a general pattern. 1. Attachment to a host cell. 2. Release of viral genes and possibly enzymes into the host cell. 3. Replication of viral components using host cell machinery, meaning they use our own bodies to replicate within our cells the virus themselves to produce and expand the virus within our body. 4. Assembly of viral components into complete viral particles. And last but not least, 5. Release of the viral particles to infect new host cells. Now let's talk about each step in a little precise detail. Viral entry. For the viral to reproduce and thereby establish infection, it must enter cells of the host organism and use those cells' materials. To enter the cells, proteins on the surface of the virus interact with proteins on the cell. attachment or absorption occurs between the viral particle and the host cell membrane. A hole forms in the cell membrane, and then the virus particle or its genetic contents are released into the host cell, where replication of the viral genome may commence. Next, viral replication. Next, a virus must take control of the host cell's replication mechanisms. It is at this stage a distinction between susceptibility and permissibility of a host cell is made. Permissibility determines the outcome of the infection. After control is established and the environment is set for the virus to begin making copies of itself, replication occurs quickly by the millions. Next, viral shedding. After a virus has made many copies of itself, the progeny may begin to leave the cell by several methods. This is called shedding, and is in the final stage of the viral life cycle. Lastly, viral latency. Some viruses can hide within a cell, which may mean that they evade the host cell defenses or immune system, and may increase the long-term success of the virus. This hiding is deemed latency. During this time, the virus does not produce any progeny. It remains inactive until external stimuli, such as light or stress, which prompts its activity to reactivate and infect again and replicate again and cause damage to our body. Now let's talk about the COVID-19 virus in respect to the viral life cycle that it has and that scientists are currently trying to research, understand, and kind of put it all together of how this virus, the COVID-19 virus, is infecting each and every one of us within this society, within our world, globally, etc. Now, what is the biology, aka viral life cycle, of the COVID-19 virus? Now, this deadly invader, research suggests that the COVID-19 virus has an array of adaptations that help it break into human cells. The first step is causing COVID-19 disease. Scientists are still debating many of these details. Now, the virus, again, is a single-stranded RNA virus. So the viral genetic material is within the virus. It is surrounded by an envelope with a spike protein and also a smaller M protein around it. Now, the spike proteins that stud the exterior of the virus have receptor binding domains that are extremely efficient at latching onto ACE2 receptors on human cells. Those ACE2 receptors are located within our lungs, majority of them. Second, furin or another enzyme such as TMPR SS2 on the exterior of the host cell are thought to break the spike protein at one or more cleavage sites. Third, that exposes fusion peptides, small chains of amino acids that fuse the viral membrane with the membrane of the host cell. Fourth, fusion allows the virus RNA to enter the host cell where it gets translated into proteins. Fifth, the foreign RNA hijacks the host cellular machinery to produce RNA and proteins that get assembled into new virus particles. Lastly, as the virus particle exits the cell, furin might act on the spike protein to prime it. The new particles can attack other cells or leave the body and infect other people. So that's pretty much what researchers have discovered and scientists have discovered about the coronavirus disease 2019 viral life cycle. Very interesting and fascinating, the detailed prescription of how this virus enters into our cells, replicates, and then continues on to infect our whole body systematically. In recap, we talked about what a virus is, the history, a description, the background, all pretty much in a nutshell. How it can be infected, how it spreads, how it can evade our immune system, etc., etc., etc. All about the virus in a nutshell. Then we talked about what are the 5 steps of the viral life cycle of how it impacts each and every one of us if we get infected with the virus. Then we talked about the COVID-19 virus and its viral life cycle, as research and scientists are still discovering and breaking it down step by step to learn about what this COVID-19 virus is and how it's impacting each and every one of us during this pandemic crisis. I always urge everyone to always go to their primary resources. There are three: CDC, NIH, and FDA should all be your primary resources to understand about the COVID-19 pandemic, or for any medical questions you may have or knowledge, you can always refer to those primary resources for anything. They are fantastic. Also, any questions, concerns, or comments, feel free to send them my way with a DM on my Instagram, dr.305MIA. I look forward to answering any questions, concerns, or comments about the COVID-19 pandemic or any knowledge in general. Again, we are in this pandemic together. There's no I in team. Let's all work together as a family and practice our safety and precaution techniques and applications to stop the transmissibility of this COVID-19 virus within our society. As always, stay safe out there. Send all of you blessings, good vibes, good energy, and good karma. And always thinking of each and every one of you. Dr. 305, it's time to go. Let's go.